66 News at 10.
This is a health crisis that we're confronting.
Michigan starts the process of banning flavored e-cigarettes.
Am I supposed to go back to burning tobacco?
Why opponents of the plan say it will hurt more than just the people who use them.
Cooler weather has moved into mid-Michigan. I'm going to let you know how long this trend sticks around and when we can expect a warm-up in your storm-ready weather forecast.
The danger of flip-flops.
Just like if you were distracted driving, you could be held accountable. You could be held liable.
We look at how the wrong footwear can cause serious problems when you're driving. And Hurricane Dorian has brought powerful winds and soaking rain to the coast of Florida. But it also brought something unexpected: bricks of cocaine.
Covering all of the Flint Bay region, Fox 66 News at 10 starts right now.
Tonight, we learn how shoes may be contributing to car crashes. It comes as a Western Michigan family is continuing to grieve after a 47-year-old man died in a crash over the weekend. According to police, it may have been caused by a flip-flop. As Fox 66's Famie Redwood finds out tonight, this isn't as rare as you might think.
As summer comes to an end, if you're still wearing flip-flops into the chilly fall, researchers say you might want to reconsider. If you're driving anyway. According to a 2013 study, 7% of drivers polled blamed flimsy sandals for a crash or nearly causing a crash. Another study found what's called pedal application error caused 16,000 accidents a year nationwide. We turn to Flint's Keys in Hand Driving School to help us understand how flip-flops can cause a crash. Owner Charles Walker.
Your foot could get stuck right between the brake and the accelerator.
That study found this happens to 1 in 9 drivers. In this video, a coworker demonstrates how her own flip-flops can get tangled. In addition, experts say wearing flip-flops can double the amount of time it takes to brake. And if you're wearing stilettos, guess what? That's also a problem. Walker says they can get stuck in floor mats. He says going barefoot is not the solution. That can also cause problems braking.
If you have shoes on, you can apply more pressure.
If you're wearing flip-flops and they get tangled, just like if you were distracted driving, you could be held accountable.
Frankenmuth auto accident attorney Julie Gaffke says be careful about what you wear.
I don't believe the police or the prosecutor are going to excuse it because you're wearing flip-flops.
Accident or not, she says you could face criminal and civil charges. In Flint, Famie Redwood, Fox 66 News.
Both the attorney and driving instructor agree here. So the solution, they say, is to keep a set of shoes in your car that are better suited for driving. Getting a live look now into downtown Flint through our Fox 66 Skynet camera. Pretty calm, pretty peaceful there along the bricks, but definitely probably needing a jacket if you step out the door. You might be noticing that. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Cagle is here now with what we can expect as we head into the overnight hours. Hey, Jamie.
Well, hey there. Yes, definitely going to be some sweater weather as you're heading out the door tomorrow morning, as temperatures maybe dipping down into the 40s for tonight. We'll start out to look at the satellite and the radar. The radar is quiet right now and mostly clear skies overhead for the time being. As we take a look at those temperatures into the 50s and low 60s at this moment, the 24-hour temperature change, however, that's a little more noticeable. As you can see, we're a good 10 to 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. The dew points have also plummeted. We have upper 40s to mid 50s, and those have dropped just as much as your temperatures outside. That cool, refreshing feel is in the air. I'll let you know for how long and when we might actually feel a little bit of a warm up in your storm ready weather forecast.
Michigan has become the first state to ban flavored e-cigarettes. This ban is likely to last just for 6 months, but after that it could be renewed for another 6 months. Governor Gretchen Whitmer says it's a necessary step to prevent the younger population from taking up the habit. During this temporary ban, state officials will be working on permanent regulations that target vaping and e-cigarettes. Whitmer also directed state health officials to ban, quote, misleading marketing of vaping products. She specifically highlighted the danger those products pose to children.
But we're letting these companies target our kids, appeal to our kids, and deceive our children. And they're showing up with respiratory illnesses no one can explain. This is why we're taking bold action here in Michigan. It's time for us to lead.
In the meantime, DHHS will be working on a permanent set of rules. Whitmer's plan also bans misleading marketing and certain types of billboards. And with that backlash has begun now, people in the vaping industry say this could lead to people finding other ways to satisfy their addictions.
This backdoor attempted prohibition risks sending tens of thousands of ex-smokers in Michigan back to cigarettes or to black market homemade products that will be produced to zero safety standards.
Now, employees at A Clean Cigarette say they're planning to lawyer up and figure out how to fight this move. They worry if the ban stays, hundreds of shops across the state could close. Veronica Meadows explains why this company, for them, it's about more than just staying in business.
Never pick up tobacco, first of all. If you haven't smoked, don't pick up the habit.
Delisha Trice started smoking cigarettes as a teenager, and like other employees at A Clean Cigarette, she switched to e-cigarettes as a way to help her quit.
It's not burning. There's no smoke, there's no ash, there's no tar. I can still be able to satisfy my nicotine addiction without having to fill my lungs with smoke.
Trice is worried that if the ban stays, she'll take a step backward because she uses the menthol flavor.
What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go back to burning tobacco? Am I supposed to go back to smoking Newports, Marlboro menthols? Because that's the only option for me.
Owner Kerry Lee says e-cigarettes are geared towards smokers who are trying to quit. He believes losing the menthol flavor, the preferred choice of his customers, could put him out of business.
In order to get them from a menthol burning cigarette to a clean cigarette, we have to have menthol. It's part of their addiction.
Other employees like Dawn Every welcome additional regulations on e-cigarettes, but not if it means she'd be out of a job.
There's a lot of families employed in these companies. You know, you just get rid of all this. Who's going to pay that unemployment? The companies are out of business. Michigan, our taxpayers. I can't imagine there's a lot of taxpayers looking forward to that.
I'm Veronica Meadows, Fox 66 News.
Sales will also be banned online, but this ban is not in effect right now. The rules must first be filed with the Secretary of State. Then companies will have 30 days to comply.
18 years old. My lungs are like a 7-8-year-old's.
And that is Adam Herriger, and then he's an Illinois teen who was now sitting in a hospital, as you could see there. His lungs stopped working. A machine is keeping him alive. His parents say it's all because he was vaping. Industry officials argue it's because he augmented their products, though, with marijuana.
When I first started juuling, I didn't know what nicotine was, so I just thought it was just a vape juice, or like, I don't even know what vape juice is.
Now, he added that THC dabs. He's been using Vuelpen for the last year and a half. The American Vaping Association says each day of this crisis brings more evidence that street vapes containing THC or other illegal drugs are responsible for these illnesses, not nicotine vaping products. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is reviewing 6 cases of respiratory illness, all suspected to be linked to vaping and e-cigarettes. All cases were reported in the Lower Peninsula. As of August 23rd, there were 203 possible cases of severe respiratory disease associated with e-cigarettes in 23 states. Tonight, we continue to track Hurricane Dorian. The death toll in the Bahamas, it's now risen to 20. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Cagle joining me now. So, Jamie, what we all want to know is, where is Dorian heading to next?
Well, Dorian has made a turn to the north. It had that sharp right-hand turn as it approached the Florida Peninsula, and now it is just to the northeast of Jacksonville, still over the Atlantic waters, but it is approaching the Carolina coastline. As you take a look at the track right now, Category 2 winds still at 110 miles an hour, moving north at 8 miles an hour. And you can see it is going to move right along that coastline of the Carolinas over the next 24 to 36 hours, and expecting some widespread flooding along the low country there.
Still nothing to mess with. So as Hurricane Dorian takes aim at the U.S. coast, we're continuing to hear the heart-stopping stories coming from survivors and how they lived through this storm already in the Bahamas when it was much stronger. One survivor says this felt worse than a Category 5.
This couldn't have been a Cat 5. If they had a category for this had to have been like an 8. We were trapped inside our apartment. The wind came, blew every window out. The only thing what saved our life is our pump truck. We have a business in Abaco. We had to huddle up in our pump truck. The glass started to break. We just had to stick through it. The eye came, and that's what also saved us to head over to the clinic.
Hard to imagine. And tonight, families separated by Hurricane Dorian, they were reunited in Nassau. You can watch here those precious moments. Children and parents running up to each other and giving each other hugs. With the winds Dorian is bringing, people are bound to find some weird things. But check this out. Hurricane Dorian washed up a brick of cocaine on shore. This was found in Melbourne, Florida. Now, a concerned person did tell an officer and then led him to that suspicious package. That's when they found out it turned out to be a kilo of cocaine. Police say 16 cocaine bricks have washed up on 2 Florida beaches since Friday. Oprah Winfrey is hitting the road in 2020. The message she'll be bringing to cities across the country. Plus, Flint Bishop Airport adding a new nonstop flight.
And this isn't just a county airport, but obviously a regional treasure.
How it will make traveling a little easier. It's meat without the meat. So what's in it? And is it healthier? Find out in tonight's Profit Reports.
Anything to help with the school budget is a wonderful addition.
Coming up next, we'll show you how school districts across mid-Michigan are saving green by going green.
Hopefully we'll see this start to take off.
And teaching students in the process.
This is Fox 66 News at 10 with Dave Bondy, Stephanie Parkinson, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Cagle, and Sports Director Gina Trotman.